What is addiction? Is it a disease, as people think? Well, a disease is quite a wide definition for what counts as a disease. All you really need is a dysfunction with a particular body part, perhaps a location where in the body is that dysfunction occurring, and are there specific symptoms which would mark it out as different from another disease. And if you've got those three things, you've potentially got a disease. So there's a lot of things that could fit into that. A black eye could be a disease. You've got dysfunction, which is swelling and a black mark around your eye, and perhaps you can't see very well. You've got the location, which is your eye, and you've got symptoms, which is pain, etc. So lots of things could be called a disease that we wouldn't ordinarily really use that terminology in day-to-day life. So that's where the problem is with addiction. People don't like the idea of it being a disease, and so it feels odd to call it a disease. So let's just leave that for now and move around, see if we can get more specific. Is it a brain disease? The American Society of Addiction Medicine have suggested that it might be, ASAM for short. In 2011 they gave a definition of addiction which basically boiled down to it's a primary, chronic and progressive brain illness affecting reward, motivation, memory and other related circuitry. So that kind of fits too. Is addiction a primary illness? Well, yeah, probably. A lot of people seem to think addiction is a secondary illness, which means it arises out of another illness, such as depression or other mental health problems. That's what people often say about addiction. But if you're a treatment professional like me, oftentimes you will meet clients who don't appear to have any significant mental health problems. Other mental health problems like depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So addiction is not necessarily arising out of another problem. It might just be a problem on its own. And ASAM was suggesting that it might be. It's just there to begin with. You already have it, as it were. A chronic illness is one that's incurable, or at best the symptoms linger horribly, so you're not going to get rid of it more than likely. And that again seems to ring true when you visit support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous. They'll tell you once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. You might be able to go many, many years without drinking, and then suddenly it will flare up again. So it does seem as though it's chronic. What's a progressive illness? Well, a progressive illness gets worse over time. So that again is something that recovering addicts and alcoholics will talk about a lot. Sometimes that can even happen when you're sober. If you don't do what's necessary to treat the illness, which is what you usually do with chronic illnesses. They can't be cured, but they can be treated. But if you don't treat them, they continue to get worse over time. So addiction can be progressive over time, even if you're not taking the drug, which leads us to believe that addiction might not just be about the drug, right?